I'm sorry. Let me do that again. Sid voice. What's up, people? It is your boy Jared Never Sleeps. Welcome, Wrestling Never Sleep Nation. I am here with two very distinguished guest hosts. It's your boy, the coach from West Virginia, Travis Lillard, who we just found out about 30 seconds ago is the ATC Tag Team Champion of the world. And we're just hearing about this. And of course, my man from New York, railing to sell himself, Railsy Tyrell Howard in the building. Guys, what is happening, baby? We have a fun show for you guys. And tonight we're talking about the WWE superstars who had the most missed opportunities. It's going to be a fun show. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. I'm really excited to be coming with a different
champ
of many promotions.
Hey, it is what it is. It's not about me here.
Hardcore legend, Coach Lillard himself.
Very, very excited to be coming with a different show format here. We're live, of course.
Okay, everyone's gone. Everyone's gone. Okay, so let me recap the audience right quick for you guys. So we've been doing the show together for the last couple of weeks. Are you guys back?
Yeah, we never went anywhere.
Oh, okay. I disappeared.
Oh,
I guess I disappeared. I was giving the audience a recap of what happened. How we just found out that Travis is the world champion. We've been doing this show for a couple weeks, and he just kind of spills it on us like, "Hey, I have this world title from a promotion. I'm a tag team champion."
Apparently, the coach has done this whole apparently this coach has done this expedition of gold thing throughout many territories and promotions. He didn't tell us about it. I feel some type of way.
Is what it is, I guess.
I think I'm the one disappearing.
Can you see us?
You haven't went anywhere on our screen.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm back.
Oh, you didn't. You never went anywhere.
Technical glitches be damned.
We're undefeated. We're defeated again by the internet enemy.
We need to stop doing the
internet is the biggest hater.
It seems that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna call my cable provider tomorrow and see if I can get some better internet. But yeah, guys, we have a great show tonight. We're talking about the most missed superstar opportunities wrestlers WWE dropped the ball on. This show can honestly, we were joking on the group chat. This show can go on for 8 hours. But yeah, who wants to go first? Who do you think is
this show literally a missed opportunity? Let's tell him, Jared. This show literally came on a whim about an hour ago. Like we literally thought of this like an hour ago.
About an hour ago, I sat down about 15 minutes ago. Probably got 30 different names. Of course, we won't hit all of them, and they're not in any type of order for me personally. But I think that if we throw names out there, probably 90% of them will agree on, if not more. But if you want, I can go ahead and throw one out there.
Go ahead. You're the champ.
Go for it, baby. Go for it, champ.
You're the real champ.
The champ goes first.
You should actually change your name to
Champion's Advantage.
Champ.
The champ. But technically in wrestling, the champ comes out second.
No, that's not true. That Big E came out before Brock did at day one.
Brock's the bigger name.
Roman came out before Seth. Roman came out before Seth at the Royal Rumble.
That is true. Well, I mean, we all know why he did now in retrospect.
Traditionally, not WWE.
But
anyway, let's go with the most current. Keith Lee.
What you guys thought on that? His mother in glory, of course. I've said this. I said this like I think last night. Keith Lee was the perfect person to dethrone Roman Reigns. If you're gonna have him do like a 2-year world title run, Keith Lee's the guy to win the Royal Rumble. Keith Lee's the guy that should have beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but it didn't happen.
Even if we don't go that far, I think WWE could have and should have found a spot for him to be no less than upper mid card. He could have main evented with anybody. He did it there for a couple shows, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if Vince just didn't like the size of him, but the fact that he is the size that he is and moves the way he does, that is his selling point. You know, he's got charisma. He oozes it. He doesn't even have to talk, and the crowd gets behind him. I'm at a loss for why Keith Lee became Bearcat and then became Future Endeavor by the WWE.
I see. You know what? I agree with you, but the only thing I don't agree with is upper mid card. I mean, this guy is he's
at minimum. That should have been if he was shit on.
Well, okay, because there was no way he could be upper mid card when he beat Randy Orton in the first pay-per-view match at a time when Randy Orton wasn't even losing to anybody. That man should have went main event the night he beat Randy Orton.
Instead, he went future endeavored.
Exactly. He went first of all. He was. I can remember the night he debuted on Raw. I was like, "Yo, this dude has fucking basketball shorts on. Why?" Like wrestlers are doomed the minute they change their outfits on the main roster. It's like, yo, what? Why are you changing anything about this man?
Right, and of course that's a big thing that WWE does. They take what got them to the dance, and then when they finally get to the dance, they just throw a bunch of gimmick shit at him and say, "Here, this is you now." Well, then you're starting a person over. Not everybody can just click into a new gimmick or a brand new direction of travel for what got them there. So when you slap him with a thing like the Bearcat and you change up his look, change up everything that made him who he was to get him to the main roster, it's going to take a little while for him to accept that and grow with that. Granted, he still had his name. He was still able to keep a lot of his moveset, but they started kind of dumbing that down, if you ask me. And then eventually, of course, we seen him less and less, and now we know what happened. He is an he is an AEW. I'm an ATCW.
I mean, you can be wherever you want, champ.
Champ is here. Okay, so check this out. What do you think of these matchups? Keith Lee versus Roman Reigns, like I said before. Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre. Keith Lee versus Goldberg. I'm taking it. I'm sorry, I'm taking it. Keith Lee versus who else was I thinking? I said Roman. I said Goldberg. I said Keith Lee versus Brock Lesnar. All these matchups we're missing out on.
Keith Lee versus Lashley, a fair fight.
Keith Lee versus Lashley. You
got
put in hands for WrestleMania and SummerSlam with that.
You put any of those except Goldberg. Any of those on a marquee.
He's the money. The Goldberg's the money.
But they could have had money with that. But
Keith Lee versus Shane McMahon.
Shane McMahon has to win, of course. I mean, that's just the rules of the universe. Gravity and Shane McMahon.
We can see that now.
Yeah, that's still Keith Lee versus. Well,
book it on the Indies. That's GCW's next main event.
I don't want to see it.
I do. I want Shane to go over.
Strong
every time. He's strong. But yeah, Keith Lee for sure a missed opportunity. But hopefully AEW can wrong some of his rights. Please, Tony Khan, if you're watching, which I know you are, please keep Keith Lee away from Orange Cassidy. For me, please. My heart can't take it.
They'll be fighting next week because of you now. Thanks a lot.
Rosie, who do you think?
Rosie, I think I didn't write any names down because they have so many missed opportunities. I could just name one off the top of my head. But I'm gonna go with one who's currently on the roster right now, Mustafa Ali.
Great one.
They are totally dropping the ball on this guy. The guy wants to be released. They don't want to release him, and then they use the term value as the reason why they don't want to release him. But you have nothing for him. The man was supposed to be the one to beat Daniel Bryan for the title at WrestleMania. He got hurt. Kofi took his place, and we know how that turned out. They had a second opportunity to right that wrong when he could have won Money in the Bank, but they let Brock take that from him. And then it's been pretty much downhill ever since. They stuck him in that horrible retribution gimmick with no real reason behind it. And he's been stuck in purgatory ever since. Teamed him up with Mansoor for a little while. That didn't work out. And let's be clear, Ali's a natural babyface. There's no way that man should ever touch the heel side of things.
I gotta disagree with that.
Really?
I gotta strongly disagree. So there was a promo. It was like on Talking Smack a couple years ago during the pandemic era, and it was when Ali was with Retribution, and they had that Raw like Legends night, and they set all the legends on the ramp. So Ali cut a promo because they weren't on the show. Retribution was on the show. He was not on the show. So he cut a promo after Talking Smack, and he was like, I can't believe you guys just like bring all these old timers out during a pandemic and they have them sit on the stage and you know, we don't get no time, but you have people coming out for the 3,000 times talking about what you're gonna do, brother. And then he's like he had like this pipe bomb type promo. Okay, but and I was just like, he's got something there.
But he wasn't a heel.
He's good.
He's speaking. Huh? He's speaking how we all felt. How does that make him a heel?
It was heelish. He's kind of running down the old timers, and he's saying that nobody wants to hear what you're gonna do, brother, for the 30,000th time. I think it was kind of more heelish than babyface.
I think it backfired because that was a heat magnet. You know, he brought the strong arm of the WWE onto him, and we see what happened there. I agree 100% that he was misbooked. He was on my list, and you know, somebody that can go out and draw the attention of the audience. He had my attention, which isn't easy to do. But to do that week in and week out and really make me want to see what's next for him, then to be booked with this retribution thing that ended up being a bust, you know, and then just pushed away, you know, the opposite direction you want to be pushed. And then, you know, he's not good enough to be on TV or have anything for him, but we can't let him go. If he's not happy there and you're keeping him against his will, I mean, that's shitty to begin with, you know, but I would love to see a turnaround. It might be too late at this point, but I agree. He's on my list. A missed opportunity. I don't know if heavyweight championship, you know, I don't know main event would be his calling, but I think that we could have got a hell of a lot more than what we got from him because he was well on his way up before you got kind of screwed over by the booking.
I kind of see Mustafa Ali as a guy that would be great with like the Money in the Bank briefcase and maybe like two heavies with him, and he just run around. He's like one of these mischievous heels that just, you know, scoops a championship up from somebody. I think that he'd be great in that role.
I don't want to get too ethical.
Never got that far.
I don't want to get too ethical, but you know who I think would have been a good bodyguard for him in retrospect? The guy who's the bodyguard for Grayson Waller. I think his name is like
the only NXT I watch is you guys' show.
Sanga, right? Is it Sanga, right? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
The dude is huge. He would be a perfect bodyguard for Ali.
Or Veer?
No. Oh, we're still waiting for Veer.
And Shanky and
Shanky.
Little known fact, Veer is actually Shane McMahon.
Oh, I thought it was Shanky.
Here comes Veer.
Oh God!
You heard it here first, folks. Wrestling never sleeps.
That's not gonna work for me, brother.
I gotta get that on my soundboard for sure.
You need that.
All right, so let me talk about who I think is completely dropped the ball on this person. It might be a little bit controversial. I don't know if you guys are ready to hear it, but I think they heavily mismanaged the monster amongst men, Braun Strowman. This guy is a giant, huge, can talk, can be funny, could be just dominant, great look and everything, and he is now Adam Scherer on the Indies. They ruined him. I think he lost to Shane McMahon too as well. Did he not?
No,
he had a match with Shane McMahon. No, he beat
him at Mania.
He won.
They chokeslammed him off the cage. Right. That was nasty.
Right, I forgot about that. Yeah,
they ruined him because he was popular in a time when Vince didn't want no one but Roman. 2017, they should have pulled the trigger. He was lifting trucks. Yeah, he had that one thing on Raw. I think when him and Brock had the little fight, and he hit him with the Suplex City, and Braun stood up. Like it was right there for you had it right there in the palm of your hand, and you didn't want to do it because you didn't want him to beat him before Roman did.
Yeah, I see him as like this superstar level caliber of like huge mainstream star type. That's what I thought Braun Strowman could be.
What happened was in that summer when he feuded with Roman, the purpose was to get Roman over. In all actuality, they got Braun Strowman over.
Yeah, and then they just killed him.
Yep. As they did with a lot of wrestlers.
Yeah, and I'll chime in a little bit on this one. He was another one on my list, for sure. He was well on his way, and he got a lot further than most people that are on my list as far as being booked correctly. But then they started making missteps, And then, of course, his contract came up at a time when nobody knew what the future of anything was, let alone the future of wrestling. He asked for way more than they were willing to give him. They wanted to cut it. He said no. So I think there's a little bit of his ego getting in the way. Yeah. But he should not have been put in that situation because they could have made whatever money they invested in him back. Because, as you said, he can hold the attention of the crowd. He was by far a fan favorite. Or when he was a heel, he got the good kind of heat where people wanted to see him get his ass kicked or wanted to see what he would do because he was that monster heel, right? So to let a talent like that go, unless he was hell backstage, it's almost criminal to me.
Yeah, I think I knew he was doomed. I knew for sure he was doomed. And I was watching one episode of Raw. They were still in the Thunderdome at that time. And when Shane McMahon came out and slimed him like Nickelodeon slime all over his face.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think that because what is really hard to rebound from, and we're seeing it even with Bray Wyatt, being let go, being a monster runs its course. And then what do you do with this person? Right? You can't be a monster for a 20-year career and never lose. Once you lose, you start to lose some of that mystique, right? The more you lose, the less of a monster that you're perceived to be. Do you think that coming in with that is something that, not every time, but something that leads to kind of the demise of some of these guys that can't repackage into something else?
It's almost like,
or that aren't repackaged into something else.
It's almost like being tall. It's almost like being tall is a detriment to them. Being a giant.
Well, here's how I look at it, because I think another superstar who suffered from that kind of, I guess you're saying overexposure, would be the Big Show. The Big Show, I think after a while you just kind of don't want to see him because it's like whatever, like we see him all the time. So with that, I think you have to kind of give him like the back in the day Andre the Giant booking or the present day Brock Lesnar booking, where he just shows up here and there and pops out and leaves for a little bit and comes back, and then he has maybe the big matches in Saudi Arabia, maybe he's surprise interest in the Royal Rumble. He's around for Survivor Series or WrestleMania, the big 4 pay-per-views.
Right. So, but to me, then the problem with that,
the Giants,
right? When you give them that kind of booking, there's got to be somebody that is at a next level as far as names go.
The Giants are house show names, are house show attractions. Meaning, like you said, keep him off of TV for a while, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't have to be on house shows. He can be on house shows and be an attraction for the people that's live. And then if you have an important program for him later on, you bring him back on TV. Let him have his program. Right. Either he wins the program or he loses the program, disappears again, goes back to just doing house shows where the crowd can be like, oh, I see him, but he's not on TV every week. That way it gives the TV audience a chance to miss him when he comes back. It's like, okay,
and at the same time, you're getting your money back for the investment that you made in him because he's selling tickets at house shows.
Exactly. And merchandise. Exactly.
And the other thing is that WWE has proven time and time again, they can just really make whatever star they want to make. So if you put the investment forth to push a Braun Strowman into becoming a household name, you can go ahead and do that. And I think with his size, I think with his unique look and the way he can cut promos and everything, I think he can really keep up with that. Or could have kept up with that.
All right. Are we back to me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, let's see here. I'm going to go back a little way.
I'm sorry to cut you off. So to kind of like not go like 2 hours, we should just cut it down to like 5 wrestlers apiece.
Shane McMahon.
So we've completed round 1 of 5 then.
Yeah, yes. So we've completed round 1 of the 5 misused wrestler draft.
And what's good about that for me is that we have mentioned people on my list. All of us mentioned somebody on my list, so my list is dwindling. So that's good. I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to get both of these guys in, but I'm going to go with the first one here. This is a guy that I've actually wrestled. Great guy. You know, he does shoot off at the mouth a lot. I think that kind of think that was his detriment. I know that it was. And that is the franchise Shane Douglas.
Hold on, you wrestled Shane Douglas?
Yep.
We're learning a lot about this guy right now.
Yeah, wait. Did he hit you with the belly to belly?
Yep, the franchiser. That's how I lost the match.
The Pittsburgh Plunge.
It was an ECW rules match.
Oh, was it?
So one of the favorite times of my career was going and having Shane Douglas cut a Shane Douglas promo on me, challenging me to an ECW rules match and having the crowd chant ECW.
Wow. Did you get color in the match?
Did I get color in that one? Probably. I don't remember. No, not that one. I didn't.
Oh, we're gonna have to do a series on you, an episode on you.
Yeah, seriously. The 5 faces of Coach.
Yeah,
but I think that we could have had something there. I'm intrigued by the matchups we could have had. With Shawn Michaels, with everybody in that era that he was in. But politics definitely kept him down, to me. And he was always one of my dad's favorite wrestlers. We did get a little bit of him in WCW. Maybe that shows that, he wouldn't have been a main event guy in the main leagues, if you would. And he definitely wasn't ECW. But if we could have took and brought some of that attitude and gimmick he had in ECW to the main stage of the WWE, instead of completely trying to repackaging him and giving him a lower mid-card gimmick, I think that the franchise would have been able to get over in a 1996 and 1997 WWE.
The franchise would have been perfect in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, I was just going to say that he was just a little bit ahead of his time. Like he was in the cartoonish era of wrestling where
if he could have brought the triple threat with him to the Attitude Era, it would have been incredible. Him, Bam Bam, and Candido together in the Attitude Era.
So, question: in an alternate universe, do you think it would work for if DX was Shane Douglas and Shawn Michaels?
Shane, Shawn, and Triple H.
It'd have been a very different D-Generation X.
Yeah, because I can't picture Shane Douglas saying "suck it."
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
Is it my go?
Your go.
Okay, so
go for it.
I was thinking about this one, right? And I think you guys may agree with me. I think the WWE dropped the ball on one of the biggest indie wrestlers currently, and that is Zack Ryder / Matt Cardona.
From my hood. Old radio, tell me everything.
They dropped the ball when he was able to get himself over by having his own YouTube show. They allowed him to have the YouTube show. The crowd was chanting this man's name during a Rock promo at Survivor Series. You can't get any better than that. Like the man got his name chanted through the whole Survivor Series.
Why did they do that? Why did that happen? He was so over
because they didn't create it.
I want to say this, my opinion on this is I agree that he got squashed. I mean, losing the Intercontinental title the night after he won it, all that. I mean, that pop at WrestleMania was amazing.
80. What is it? Was that in Dallas?
I think it was in. Was it when they were in Arizona? When they were in Phoenix?
No, I think that was Dallas.
It might have been.
Okay, so think about this: 90,000 people chanting "woo woo woo" while you're on top of the ladder.
Right.
You don't see money in that.
Yeah. How do what are they looking at? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense
because he got himself over organically.
Yep.
That's the problem.
It wasn't a WWE created.
Imagine Matt Cardona in WWE today. He would be one of the biggest heels they have.
And that's what I'm getting back to here. I think that what's going to end up happening, or what I hope could happen, what I think should happen, give him another year on the indies to build what he's doing right now, and then bring him back to the WWE with this attitude, this current, the league was my indies.
I don't think he'll go back.
I was about to say that.
He tweeted last week something about with him and Kurt Hawkins. I forgot his name that he's using right now, but he tweeted, look at us now. Brian Myers. He said, look at us now. Just imagine if we were in the WWE right now, we'd be running around chasing the 24/7 title.
Yeah, I did see that. And, and that's what these guys, I mean, it's horrible because he's been there. He knows how it works. So maybe if not the WWE, What about AEW? Give him a year away from the main spotlight, because let's be honest, he's putting the spotlight on himself. He's pulling it over there, and he's letting everybody know who Matt Cardona is, who Matt Cardona can be. And then you have an immediate huge star, huge indie darling coming into AEW, who's spent a year and a half, 2 years, not just rebranding himself, but making himself a bigger name than he ever was when he was on the main stage.
That man's about to win the NWA World's Heavyweight title. He's gonna beat Trevor Murdoch. I can see that happening.
But with all that being said, I can't say I've ever seen him as a main event talent.
I didn't either. Like, at least not in the WWE. No, not even in, like, not even. I don't even see him as a main event talent on the WWE stage. But anywhere else, with the attitude that he has now, I could picture, like, he would be perfect to be in a stable with Cody if Cody was a heel in AEW. Him, Cody, Brian Myers, that would be a pretty decent stable. And they could all play up their WWE experience, and that would make the crowd hate him even more.
Well, okay. Let's backtrack a little bit. You said you don't see him as a main event guy in WWE. The Miz was a main event guy in WWE, and I think Zack Ryder's reaching that at least a level like where he's at the Miz or a little better than the Miz right now.
Matt Cardona has found a way to revitalize his career on the Indies to the point where he's probably hotter now than he's ever been at any point in the WWE. The dude is like the most hated wrestler on the Indies. Like, GCW hates that man's guts. That man was GCW champ.
Yes.
That man was ECW television champ and threw the belt in the garbage can. Like you can't get any more heelish than that.
The only problem there is that pretty much everything he's doing in GCW, he would never be able to do in the WWE.
Nope.
Most of it he wouldn't even be able to pull off in AEW, but he could take a lot more of that attitude, tone down some of the language, a little bit of what he does, take it to AEW, and pretty much be the same Matt Cardona.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what he's doing at NWA right now. The exact way you just described him is what he's doing at NWA.
Just toning it down a little bit.
Yep, just turning it down a little bit, but being an arrogant prick heel who says he's going to be the next champ. And he's collecting championships because I think he's the Impact Digital Media Champion.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know, but that's a belt that Impact created. I know Jordan Grace was the first champ, and I think he beat her. So now he's the champ. So now he's walking around with that one in his internet championship. So he's being real cocky about it. Then think about it, and then he collects the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. Now he'll have 3 different championships.
Maybe I can be the Intergalactic World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah,
what are these names?
Then the Universal Champion.
He's 2022's version of the belt collector.
Yeah, the digital belt collector. He collects NFTs basically.
Yeah. So right,
he's got all the internet belts.
He's beyond his time, right? He collects.
He's way ahead of his time.
Oh man. Well, actually, if you think about it, he was the one that set off the whole YouTube phenomenon. That was him.
His show was actually, I used to watch that show. His show was very funny. Yeah, it was very, very funny. And then WWE took it over and wanted to do like certain
once they signed him over, once he signed the rights over to it, he was doomed from there.
Over. And the wrong type of over.
I'm gonna tell you right now that he was ahead of his time because as popular as he was at that time, if AEW was around, he would have been the biggest thing in AEW.
I want to see Cardona versus Hangman. In
AEW. Honestly, I'll be totally honest with you. That wouldn't even be a bad match. The funny thing about it is
Cardona wouldn't be a bad feud.
The funny thing is in WWE standards, Cardona looks small. The AEW standards, he looks huge.
Yeah. It'd be one of the bigger guys there for sure.
He's not a small guy at all.
No. When he debuted in AEW that first time, I was like, yo, goddamn, he's huge.
Right.
Right? He looked like a different person. But that's definitely. I mean, he has to be top 5 of the guys WWE dropped the ball on.
Yeah.
All right, Jared, give us somebody we can not all agree on.
He's gonna say Sting.
Sting had a better career than the Undertaker.
Sting was.
He did.
Horribly misused in WWE, but
I agree. Someone we cannot all agree on. My pick was gonna say Dolph Ziggler, but I guess we all can agree that he was misused. So if I could say someone that we're not going to all agree on.
I was there the night after WrestleMania when he cashed in Money in the Bank.
Ah, man, he should have been.
I was there. That was that atmosphere. That when he came out, when his music hit, that crowd pop when he won the title, that crowd pop.
I couldn't imagine being there live because even watching the video,
and it's New York, it's crazy.
No,
if he's the second coming of Shawn Michaels, he was the second coming of Shawn Michaels.
For a long time,
it was so obvious.
For a long time, Dolph Ziggler was a heel on TV, but in the New York markets, the fans loved him.
Yeah.
So. The only thing I could come close to comparing that pop would be being in it was the 2014 Rumble, and when it was match of the night by far, it was Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan. And this was the middle of the Yes movement, and just that the whole arena. Yes.
Nah, I got a bigger pop for you. The night where he turned on the Wyatts in that cage match.
But I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Oh, you was there when he did that Rumble.
I was at the Rumble. Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine the atmosphere for that. That Yes movement was totally different. That Yes movement is what got him the championship in the first place. Because if not, we'd have been talking about how the WWE dropped the ball on him.
And we talk about all, we have the show pretty much because of Vince McMahon. But last year at WrestleMania, the pop that he got when they introduced him, along with all the wrestlers, because that was the first show back since this whole thing started.
Mm-hmm.
Half full stadium in Tampa. That pop was ridiculous too.
Okay, I got one. WWE dropped the ball on. I don't know if it's controversial. I don't think people will care. It's kind of whatever. But I'm doing it for you guys. They dropped the ball on Naomi. Naomi is ridiculously athletic. She is, I think, probably one of the more athletic people not named Bianca Belair on the roster or Charlotte Flair.
Naomi is Bianca Belair before Bianca Belair, if you really want to be technical about it.
She is, So, I think they could have really did a lot more for her.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Sorry to cut you off. How would you feel if Naomi and Bianca became tag team champions? Realistically speaking, who could beat them?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't.
Well, the thing is, those titles don't mean anything.
Titles mean right. Like I might as well carry.
They don't mean anything. So
but who would
I can carry my suitcase to the ring, and it means more than those titles.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
but
right.
Who would beat them?
Rhea Ripley and
Shane McMahon.
Yes. I wish I had my soundboard right now.
Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon.
Shane McMahon gets all the titles.
But you're absolutely right. She was grossly missed.
But those titles don't mean anything, so it wouldn't even matter at all.
You know, the best way that I feel like at this point would be able to get her out of being so misused. And I don't understand the logic behind this, because I feel like at least AEW probably would have done this by now. Naomi gets misused on SmackDown every week by Sonya. Why does not Naomi go to her husband and go to her family and use the bloodline to her advantage?
Because she's a babyface.
I get that.
Why would she think?
But okay. So
why would they ever think?
No, I know I get that. But you sit here and tell me that if it came a situation where Sonya was in a ring with her and a wrestler, or like a male wrestler, her husband's not supposed to come out and save her.
I mean, it depends on what's in the script. these wrestlers don't really
the logic doesn't make any sense, though, right? But I'm saying though, like,
go into business for yourself, you won't be in the business very long.
No, I get that part. I get that part, but you would think at some point, like, common sense would have you go, like, it would be a situation where Sonya feels like she's threatening Naomi, have Naomi's back against the wall. Sonya turns around and Roman's right behind her. Like, is there a problem? No problem. Sonya's
okay. So the only issue with that storyline is like it now needs
Roman a babyface.
It now needs a payoff. Like, why do we have Roman Reigns and Sonya Deville interacting with each other? Like this.
No,
they gotta stay in.
No, not even
two different worlds.
No, you would just have to. It would be because WWE is good for their little slick lines. It would be like, no one can save you. No husband, no family. Then you turn around and Roman's right there, or even Paul Heyman.
Right, but now we have to tell the story of
where do you go
Roman
from there?
Reigns, and so, you're right, exactly. Now we have to progress that story, and it's like,
or are you going to be 1999 WCW and just throw it in the garbage?
Oh, it could be like 1998 WCW, where like Lex Luger was like a bad guy when he was a solo wrestler, but a good guy when he was teammates with Sting, which shit never was very confusing to me back then.
That was 1996. Yeah,
I think it was 96. Yeah, he was a bad guy as a singles wrestler, but a babyface as a tag team wrestler. It made no sense.
That was them working their way into Sting versus Luger.
Those matches never worked either. Sting and Luger had bad chemistry as opponents. Great chemistry as tag team partners, though.
Yeah, I think I would just prefer the Naomi and Sonya thing to just not happen at all. Like have her do something.
Somebody burn that damn jacket.
You know it's bad. You know it's bad when my mom the other day was like, "Yo, like, why did she pick on her? Like this feud has been going on way too long, and like, what is her reason for picking on her?" And I'm like,
it's never been explained.
Nah, it hasn't been.
Yeah, but I think she could be top tier talent. So who do we got next?
Well,
Champ.
As far I'll go ahead and weigh in on Naomi. I think that I think the best for her is yet to come. I don't know that.
Do you think she wins a championship this year?
Part of me wants to disagree just to disagree, but I really, really can't. I think she could be way above what she has been already, but I don't put her with the Bianca Belairs, the Charlotte Flairs, and all that yet. I just don't. But I think.
But my question is, what if you gave her the chance to?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think that's what's on the way because she's getting TV time every week.
She got a title shot tomorrow.
I think
there's a chance to show out.
Right, I think the chance will be there, and I hope she grabs that brass ring and takes it.
Oh, there goes that mysterious. There goes that mysterious WWE brass ring again.
Yep.
Cesaro tried that.
Grabbed.
Cesaro tried it. It didn't work.
I'm going to go back even further here. Jump in our time machines and head on back to the 80s, early 90s. And let's talk a little bit about Mr. Perfect.
Oh, you took my wrestler. That was my next one.
Yes.
Kurt Hennig. Even if he would have never been world champion, which he wasn't, he was one of the best intercontinental champions they had. He had the charisma. He was everything that you needed in a wrestler to be a main event guy. And to me, to carry the title for a strong baby face to come after. He's just one of these guys that I, again, don't understand what happened. I don't know if it was personal issues, politics, whatever. But then, go to WCW, be nothing more than a mid-carder, rap his crap, all that kind of thing. And then when he does finally get to come back, he wrestles Brock Lesnar, and he's there for a cup of tea, but to do nothing more than really enhance people. And he had aged by that time. But, again, I think ball dropped.
Oh, absolutely. Like when you think of like classic intercontinental champions, I think Mr. Perfect's name is like right on top of that list.
Yes.
I think he just probably came around in a time where, he's the wrong guy in the wrong time, the right guy in the wrong time. There's, Hulk Hogan is still around. Yes. You got emerging Bret the Hitman Hart. There's Ultimate Warrior, like just super mega stars. And I think Vince was not really keen on like the technical wrestlers and stuff. He wanted like stars, which because I think there's kind of a difference.
I think, and I'm not saying they're on the same caliber, but I think you could probably put a British Bulldog in that same kind of category. Any other time in WWE with that push he had in 92, 93, in that era, I might have my ears off a little bit there, 92 to 94, wherever it was, I think another place in time, maybe he could have been a little bit more than what he was. Again, I think Mr. Perfect is by far the better.
Bulldog ruined that because of his drug issues, though.
Right.
Well, you know who Mr. Perfect is? Mr. Perfect is Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan was fortunate that the crowd got behind him and the Yes movement just took off. Like if it wasn't for that Yes movement, Daniel Bryan would have been Mr. Perfect.
Yep. All right, Rousey.
Okay, so Rousey, aka Rel in the Cell.
It sticks.
Putting it on the t-shirt.
It's over.
Just have a list of nicknames on the back here.
Rousey 316.
Rousey 316 says
says
it's not going to work for me, brother.
Not going to work for me, brother.
So I think I will say this. I think a wrestler that the WWE has dropped the ball on, and maybe you agree with me, maybe you won't. I would say definitely Cody Rhodes. If you look at what Cody has done now since he left WWE and the way he has accomplished, you can't sit here and tell me he wouldn't be a top heel or even a top babyface in that company.
There's a parallel universe somewhere where Cody Rhodes is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion in AEW that never exists.
Exactly. Then you gave him that stupid Stardust gimmick. He made it work the best he could. He wanted to get rid of it. They didn't want him to get rid of it. He knew where his career was headed, and he asked for his release.
He was a Rhodes, so we got to throw some makeup on him and put him in some funky, goofy-looking outfit. But let me play devil's advocate here and say that I don't think we'd have the Cody Rhodes that we have right now if he wouldn't have left the WWE. I don't think that would have ever happened. I don't think he would have lived to the potential that he's gotten to. His promos, the skill of that increase perpetually from the time he left up until AEW, and still I think gets better. The emotion, the raw, just passion that he has for the business is allowed to come out. Now, if WWE would have allowed that, but I think a little bit of it comes from being pissed off at what he went through in the WWE. But if they would have allowed his creative side to come out, maybe we could have had that. But I think that because of WWE's booking, we have the Cody Rhodes we have now. And obviously, because of WWE's booking, we have AEW.
So let me ask you this question. So let me just kind of think about this Cody Rhodes thing from a Vince McMahon perspective. For one, can you picture Cody Rhodes main eventing WrestleMania? I think he's great, but personally, I don't think he's the caliber of star. I still don't think now Cody Rhodes is a WrestleMania main eventer.
I want to say I just don't see a way of WWE booking him to make him what he became without WWE.
Right.
Much like Young Bucks. I don't think they would be this cult.
Young Bucks in WWE don't work. They don't work at all.
If Cody was,
I think that's why Cody is who he is.
If Cody was a surprise entrant in a Rumble, he would have won the Rumble. He would have main evented night one of WrestleMania.
But my thing is think about this.
That's a different story.
But again, think of this as Vince McMahon, right? Vince McMahon's not gonna have Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. He's not gonna have Cody Rhodes versus Goldberg.
Why not?
He's not gonna have Cody Rhodes versus Bobby Lashley. He's not gonna have Cody Rhodes versus.
Why can't you have Cody versus Roman?
I just don't see him thinking Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns.
That's like Burger King selling the Big Mac.
That is not true. If Cody was to come in right now at the Rumble, if he would have came in at the Rumble after Roman would have won his match or whatever the case may be, you don't think that would have sold tickets? First of all, the shock factor alone would have been wow, Cody's here.
Are you talking if he wasn't with AEW right now?
Yeah, if his contract expired and then he would have ended up in the Rumble and he would have won the Rumble and challenged Roman.
No, but I think here's the thing. I think you're looking at the pop the wrong way. So I think anybody from AEW who would have went to that Forbidden Door and won the Royal Rumble, it still would have made headlines. If Orange Cassidy would have came in at 30 and won the whole thing, people will be surprised about that and be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that happened."
I think
to put that on the top billing of WrestleMania is quite a different thing.
I think I'd be more surprised that Vince let him actually win the Rumble.
He wouldn't do that.
Vince would have booked a way to find Orange Cassidy would have run the Rumble, and Vince would have found a way to book him out of the main event.
Well, yeah, I'd hope so. But what I'm saying is that Cody Rhodes, I just don't see as a main event WrestleMania talent. He's great. He's done amazing things. I like the way he fits into AEW and everything, but I just don't see him as top tier wrestling superstar. Personally,
to me, he is top tier, but in a way that he is anti WWE. He's not WWE style. Yeah. His promo,
that's the best way. That's a better way to put it. He's not WWE style.
Right.
Yeah.
So he is you go back old school WCW and WWF or WWF NWA. He is the guy that's always going to be better and look better when he's on the other side.
Yes, bring that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Real quick, we have a couple people watching. Thanks for watching this video. If you guys don't have any input, who do you guys think that WWE dropped the ball on? Please leave something in the comments. We'll read it. We'll discuss it. So if you have any input, who exactly you think WWE dropped the ball on, let us know, and make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we're dropping more content. But yeah, let's move on and continue with this conversation.
It's time for Jared's number 3.
Number 3. Oh God, the pressure's on. Who WWE dropped the ball on? And I'm going to say they dropped the ball on as I buy myself more time. I'm just gonna make the easy one. I'm just gonna say the easy one. Draw it out. The easy one is, of course, they dropped the ball heavily on my boy Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt. Here's how I would have loved to book Bray Wyatt. So the Undertaker was on his way out, right? Kane was on his way out, right? Why don't they have a match, Wyatt family versus the Brothers of Destruction? The Wyatt family wins, and they take the powers away from the Brothers of Destruction. So then that explains why we have Glenn Jacobs, the mayor, and Mark Calloway, the Texas guy, and whatever. And they can just go on
the American Badass,
and you still keep the mystique. You still keep the mystique of the supernatural stuff within the WWE and just give it to Bray Wyatt. Why not?
Yeah, but see, the problem that I have with that is that if he takes Kane and Undertaker's powers, then who's ever going to beat him?
And I think that's where we got to with The Fiend. The Fiend was so... If they could have found a way to make him come out of that, which I wish they would have, and I agree.
You know how I would have booked The
because
Fiend?
I love Bray Wyatt. But if we get rid of the whole Fiend thing, because the whole idea of it is something that should have been like nixed after a show or two because he's unbeatable. I'd rather seen Bray Wyatt in that spot, cutting the promos he can cut.
You know how I could have how I would be able to handle The Fiend.
Well, hold that thought, Rose. Hold that thought, Rose. One thing I want to say about that, because the Fiend was, immensely too powerful, right?
Yes.
So I think the problem was they didn't give the story enough time to unwind. So let's say
the Fiend's character,
the Fiend goes through this entire tear, and then you have an up and coming guy like Braun Breaker who defeats the Fiend eventually. He plays a little mind games with Braun Breaker, but eventually he's the guy that defeats him, and that creates a bigger star. But since they told the story in freaking 90 days, we didn't have enough time to see, okay, does the Fiend have any weaknesses, or does the Fiend, can he be defeated, and who can defeat him? But they just kind of cut it too quick.
I can agree with that. I think that, if it would have played out and we had somebody come in, beat him, and he's gone forever, because it is just Bray Wyatt's kind of alter ego.
This is how you end the Fiend. Right. This is how you end the Fiend. You had the Fiend go on a destructive run for months. The wrestler who beats him and ultimately destroys the Fiend ends the Fiend by ripping his mask off and revealing that it's just a human Bray Wyatt. Because underneath the mask, he's just Bray Wyatt. But with the mask on, he's the Fiend who can't be stopped. So if you can get the mask, like you can have wrestlers who know his weakness, and they know the weakness is to get to the mask, but you can't get to the mask. And then you finally have someone who's strong enough to get to the mask. And once you take the mask off, he's human again. And now the Fiend character's dead.
I'm sorry, that's some great storytelling.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
But instead, let's just fire his ass.
Works for me, brother.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
But instead, let's just fire him.
I thought about that I thought about that when he was there, like when that stupid debacle with him and Seth Rollins. Like, how can you it was like the booking of that match was so bad he had no choice but to beat him in the rematch.
Right, and I love that because it really accentuates the fact that it is his alter ego. Right, for whatever reason, when he puts that mask on, alter egos, they don't have to really make sense to everybody, but when he puts that mask on, he becomes the Fiend. Right, everything his adrenaline, everything else just kicks up a notch.
They tried to destroy the Firefly Funhouse to destroy him. It didn't work. But
I just have a sour taste of the whole Fiend thing because he got literally burnt in the ring.
And that was horrible. From that time, that was the worst.
I enjoyed the Fiend, but from that until he was gone, I just wanted him gone.
I didn't mind the burning part, but when he came back with the burnt gear, and then the WrestleMania match turning out the way it turned out, it was like you can't. It was like almost, how do you come back from that? You can't come back from that,
right?
It was like you got burnt months ago to only come back and still lose. So what was the comeuppance? Like what was
I wish it would have been getting rid of the Fiend and Bray Wyatt coming back.
Or
let's touch on that real quick.
You could have ended the Fiend too by having Alexa Bliss, when she turned on him, have somebody who was like someone stronger than her. You could have debuted a wrestler with a mask with powers that was stronger than the Fiend's. Had him rip the Fiend mask off, and the Fiend would have been destroyed forever.
But hold on. Time out. But why do you guys want to destroy the Fiend? He sells merchandise. He's a cool entrance. He's a cool wrestler. Why do we have to destroy him? Why can't we let him run his course? There's no reason to destroy. Why don't we destroy the Undertaker too? Like,
no, I mean, because
I think it had already run its course.
Okay, so you have to look at Undertaker.
You're running out of things to do
so
with
short.
It.
No, you have but look at Undertaker.
Short.
Undertaker went years, but not feeling any pain. He was indestructible. It did as time went on,
and it worked.
When he lost, it did because the power was his urn. Once you took the urn away, he started becoming more humanized, which means he felt more pain. It was an evolution of his character. Then he disappeared. He came back as American Badass. When he came back as Dead Man again, he came back with Paul Bearer with the urn again.
Because he was given time. He had a 20-year span of evolving the Undertaker. The Fiend was like what? Less than 2 years?
How long would you have
if you gave that character time?
What's time for you? How long?
As I would want the Fiend character to last as long as it takes for it to start getting stale, and then I want to change the character, just like the Undertaker. Undertaker started getting stale, so then boom, he went to the American Badass, and then that started getting stale, so he went back to the Undertaker.
It got stale once he lost to Goldberg. It wasn't the same.
That's what I'm saying. They killed it too early. They killed it way too early with the wrong guy.
I think, in a way, in a kind of a roundabout way, we're coming to that the Fiend was good, but eventually the booking is what killed it for us, right? It may be that's
why we're here.
I think, right, and I think that's why I'm gonna be honest. Why I was getting tired of the Fiend and didn't want to see him, because it wasn't the Fiend anymore. It was this shell of a
stupid
gimmick.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
It was stupid.
I didn't watch the Saudi show when he was fighting Goldberg. I was on my way to CIAA in Charlotte. I was on the bus.
I didn't either. I had everything better to do than to watch Goldberg wrestle anybody.
No, it wasn't even that. I was looking at my phone at the results, and I seen Twitter go on fire. And Twitter was like, Goldberg beat the Fiend, and I'm like, wait, what? And then after that, it was just like, where do you go from there?
Why did they do that?
And then they thought they'd make it better by him beating Cena. That didn't work. Like, the storyline with that could have been Cena going for his 16th title, and in order for him to achieve that, no, it's 17th at the time, and in order for him to achieve that, he had to beat the Fiend. That was a better storyline going into WrestleMania than just that whole Firefly Funhouse match that played out. But you had to hold
on. Time out. You did not like the Firefly Funhouse?
No, I did. But I feel like a bigger money story would have been Cena going after his 17th, and in order for him to achieve that, he had to beat the Fiend. Like, you don't think there would have been more money in that?
Gladly that didn't happen because the pandemic happened, so that would have sucked to kind of see Cena versus the Fiend and for the championship in a world title type of thing. So I'm glad that didn't happen, just because the world was on fire at the time.
To see Goldberg.
I'm a guy that, as far as cinematic matches go, I was really hard to be sold on that. I wasn't a fan of it, but I think that
Firefly Funhouse. Oh man, honestly, that's one of my top three WWE things ever.
Which one did you like better, the Firefly Funhouse or the Boneyard match?
Firefly Funhouse.
Boneyard by far. Boneyard by far.
Okay. Well,
I'm not saying I like
the Firefly. Yeah, I just liked it so much because it really just there was layers to these characters, and I kind of turned the screen pulled the curtain back and stuff.
And I think that's
just cool to me.
So cheesy.
That's the only thing I remember from it.
I don't think
John Cena in the NWO.
Like,
you got to watch it again and really look at the. We got to do. That's what we should do. We should do a watch along of the Firefly Funhouse. You got to see all the Easter eggs.
No, I know.
Good. It's so good.
Cena in his heel turn with the NWO shirt on. I know.
Seeing the heel turns. Come on.
I know.
I saw the Easter egg, but I've tried to forget as much of the COVID era wrestling, the no fans as I can.
Yeah, I'll remember it when I play WWE 2K22. Then I'll fight in the Thunderdome.
Hey, that's not a paid sponsor. You can't talk about them.
Oh, sorry. That doesn't work for me either, brother.
Cloud ain't free, baby. Another thing I want to say before you move on about the Fiend. The Fiend was cool, but what about the first incarnation of Bray Wyatt, which was very cool too? I thought that Bray Wyatt could have been a world heavyweight champion.
No, that one was the world heavyweight champion
from day one. Day one, I loved the whole
pay-per-view or just in general.
Different. Fuck the pay-per-view. that Inferno match
with
the Inferno match.
Yeah, but yeah, from the very first day I seen Bray Wyatt, that was a gimmick that I absolutely fell in love with. His ability to tell a story with his promos, which he writes. That shows you that no matter where he goes, he's going to have the ability to be that guy. He doesn't have a ghostwriter. There's somebody that's telling him what to say. So giving him the ability to use his mind, which is a terrific mind for the business, if he shows up in an AEW, if he shows up in an Impact, if he shows up at GCW, wherever he does show up, if he ends up staying in wrestling, they're getting way more than just a talented wrestler. They're getting somebody that has a mind for the business that can really help out in every facet of the business.
The people love Bray Wyatt for
the problem with that incarnation of the Bray Wyatt character was after a while it became a point where he would talk so much but never win his matches. And
that was the problem. Yep. That was the problem. He would talk a big game and then just always lose.
And that's why he's on the list.
Yep, and I think that's where the Fiend character came in because they had to change something up.
Yeah, and then they destroyed that too.
Exactly.
And here we are.
Round 4.
Tisk.
Round 4. The spotlight is on me. Let's see. There's a lot on here that I'd love to talk about. I'm just going to kind of pick one here. Okay.
No.
So by the blind point there, this guy came over after WCW was bought out, and he was given the lovely storyline of being the stalker.
Oh.
Of course, we're talking about Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, I thought you saw about Barry Windham.
No. It would be another good one. I
thought you saw about the stalker Barry Windham.
And then you go from being a stalker to this smiling whatever he was, all the way up to climb the ladder to be European champion. What happened?
He was from WCW. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So, let's just be honest. There was just no other way to say it. He was from WCW.
Yeah, why doesn't WWE do like brand continuity? Like, if someone's coming from WCW, just let them be their WCW incarnation because it worked in the other promotion. Same thing with the NXT.
It's all about characters. It's WWE cares about characters.
But Diamond Dallas Page was already working. You could just let him be DDP.
I don't know.
Come out with
he didn't have that long.
Smells like Teen Spirit bootleg.
Diamond Dallas Page's gimmick could have been, how many ways can I hit you with a diamond cutter? And that would have been better than anything else he did.
Well, so basically RKO out of nowhere is just his gimmick.
No.
Out of nowhere.
Let's just be honest.
Randy Orton stole the gimmick from WCW.
There would be no RKO.
He always hit it out of nowhere. That was the thing with the diamond cutter.
Yeah, I remember as a kid.
stole that from WCW.
I remember as a kid getting excited because you knew Diamond Dallas Page even said it. I'm gonna hit a diamond cutter a different way every week.
Yep.
So you always wanted to see in which way was he gonna hit the diamond cutter.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Orton does a little bit better though. That's fine.
I mean, the evolution of the
move. A little bit more athletic. He gets a little bit more of a jump.
If you ask me, I think Raven did the DDT better than Jake the Snake. But that's just my opinion.
Blasphemy. You are disrespectful. God
nobody has a better spine but Arn Anderson though.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that I would see DDP as a WWF champion, WWE champion. But I think he could have been somebody there. Even at that point in his career, he wasn't a young buck. He wasn't a young buck when he got started. But I think he could have been somebody that was in feuds that were main event caliber feuds, whether or not you ever put the title on him. But instead, he goes straight to the undercard, curtain jerker.
And it was doomed from there. He was doomed from there.
I mean,
even like that whole invasion was just like, you now can have dream matches, and they just completely botched that entire invasion.
Well, the whole thing with the invasion, you had all the top guys that really meant anything besides a select few. You could argue DDP could have been somebody that could have been like the leader of it.
Listen,
but they couldn't. They weren't gonna. WWF wasn't gonna buy out the Turner contracts, and the Turner contracts. Turner's the one that paid for everybody that was anything, and it was kind of now or never for the WWF, because if you waited too long, nobody was going to care about it.
Listen,
but
all those top
you
guys,
do what they did now, when they did it, nobody cared anyway, because it was all WCW's mid-carders at best. So, yes, that whole thing was botched because of that.
All the top guys already knew the WWE politics. That's why they were like, I'm just going to sit at home and get my money.
Well, they didn't have a choice because WWF wasn't going to buy the contract.
I mean, you could.
Okay, so if they know that's the case,
well,
if that's the case, why not just wait? Why not just wait, have the invasion angle when the contracts expire? Because where are these guys going to go? I'm sure they want to still get paid.
I mean, they tried that. That's when the NWO came in.
Because they were worried about waiting too long and having these guys sit everywhere and becoming irrelevant, because some of those contracts were another year, year and a half, 2 years. So I just feel like they
you can't do an invasion angle. Okay, you can't do it the proper invasion angle without the top stars. It just this is what you get if you do it that way.
They pulled the trigger on it and they did it that way, and now we see what happened.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If there was an alternative at the time when WCW folded, say if there was AEW when WCW folded, do you think a lot of those wrestlers still would have sat at home? Or you think they would have ended up on TNT? You think
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
Because their contracts are huge.
I just look at
huge contracts.
You're getting paid $1 million. You're not going to turn that down to go work every night.
Sit home and do nothing. Must be nice, right? Must be nice.
To not fall on a mat, 200 nights a year. Yeah, I'm staying at home.
Let me tell you, I don't know if you ever heard this or not, but you have this thing called a bump card, right? Mm-hmm. And eventually you're going to get all those spots taken up. So if you can sit home, collect money for 2 years doing nothing, get your body rested up, and then go back on the road and start doing your thing again, do it.
Yeah. Imagine sitting home. Okay, you know what they probably would have did? They would have did nothing. Autograph signings and stuff. They would have just did stuff like that for 2 years. And
they were catching up on everything that they missed being on the road 300 days a year.
That's true. You got a point there, champ, wrestler of the year.
The champ knows, man. That's why he's the champ.
Mm-hmm.
Are we on the round? I guess it's Rel's turn.
Yeah. Okay. So
let's go, Rousey.
I'm going to come out short and sweet. Shinsuke Nakamura.
Nope.
Oh,
not a fan.
You know what? Excuse me?
I don't like him. I've never.
Champ, you are disrespectful.
You're a heel.
You better put some respect on Shinsuke's name. I was just thinking that too when I was watching SmackDown, and he was with Rick Boogs, and he comes out with the whole stupid stuff, and Pat McAfee's doing his thing on top of the stage, and
I'm thinking like, man, this guy, his entrance music is way more entertaining than Nakamura's ever been.
Wow.
Disrespect. The disrespect.
But
you know what? I can see that. It doesn't translate well in the WWE world. It's just not going to.
It might be. It might not translate well. It just might not translate well in the American market.
Yeah,
because his style is not like any other style it is, and he has the charisma and it's enough to get through. But if you don't have the WWE behind you, not making you look dominant either, it's not much you're going to be able to do. The American audience are going to look at you just as a loser, regardless of the fact. But there's something to be said for a guy who's been Intercontinental Champion for like 6 months and only defended it like once.
Speaking of the Intercontinental Championship, I don't know if you've seen this meme that's been going around recently, but it was like a meme that said, "Remember when The Miz made the Intercontinental Championship?"
Yeah, I've seen it.
Like the most important thing. It's got a point there. That was like when it was kind of like last time it was important.
He made it.
It's like I said, I don't know if it was
title
when we were on the show together, or if it was me and Adam, but I was talking about you. In an ideal world, the wrestler makes the championship. The championship doesn't make the wrestler, because if you look at it in that way, anytime the title's ever meant anything, it's because of who it's been on.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Hangman Adam Page, we're talking to you.
Right? Now, if that belt was on Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson or Punk or whoever, is going to mean more just because of who has it. You make a name for yourself by everything else that you do. And then when you're the champion, that's kind of the stamp that says, all right, we recognize that you have become the best in this company. You're what's best for this company to move forward, grow bigger, draw more people into the arenas, draw more people on TV. That's what being a world champion in wrestling means, or used to mean at one point. So you got to rely on people that can make your title mean something, and AEW is not at a point right now where its title can make people mean anything.
You know who's a perfect example of that? Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is taking the Universal title and making it the most important title in the entire industry, even more important than the WWE title.
Because you put that title on, and I hate
it's a 4-year-old belt or 5-year-old belt, maybe.
I hate to even say this. Put it on Big E. Does it mean the same as it is on Roman?
No.
Nope.
It's the most important title in the whole industry, and it's 5 years old.
Right.
Talk about the most important title in the whole industry is the AEW Championship. What's wrong with you?
It's a Universal title, man. It's on the big dog. It's on the Tribal Chief.
I'd rather have the title that's on Hangman.
I'm taking Universal title, personally.
Good luck.
But I'd bury it, so it's useless with me.
Good luck getting it off of Roman.
It's useless with me, so you can have it, Roman.
I think Roman's going to retire that title.
At this rate, he might retire with the title.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to take that title to Hollywood with him.
He's going to retire it?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to lose it at WrestleMania to Brock. But getting back on topic, is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
You are the last one in round 4.
There's 5 rounds, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to burn this one here. I'm going to go with my girl. She was a killer in NXT. I think she's been a Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship, but I still feel like she was highly underused. I'm talking about from far and wide and light years away, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. I love Asuka. And you're shaking your head, but I love Asuka. She's such when she's a vicious killer. I love that. I think she could really elevate the division. She had a great match with Charlotte at WrestleMania, I think 33.
She should have never lost that match.
And
I don't know what else they could have done booking wise. I mean, when she first came in, she was kind of the thing. But
they could have not killed her. They could have not destroyed. Like Alexa Bliss beat her clean.
Carmella beat her.
Carmella beat her. Charlotte beat her, which is okay, but yeah, you could have just kept it going.
I think that's when they were building Alexa. Carmella, there's no excuse for that. But so, yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I'm just not the biggest Asuka mark, but I respect her. I think she's.
You sure are healing a whole lot tonight, Coach.
Hey,
you're biased against Japanese wrestlers.
He's gonna get canceled.
Just those two. Yeah, we trying to get us canceled. I better check my Twitter.
It's not gonna work for me, brother.
Nobody's ready for Asuka, and I don't know. They just didn't treat her like a champion, especially when she was the Raw Women's Champion. They just didn't really do anything with her, and I think she has like these intangible star power about her that I think they could have got more of. They could have paired her with Paul Heyman, or maybe they could have had like Alexa be her manager while Alexa was injured. It's just something, but keep that mean streak with her.
I mean, I agree. She definitely lost steam. I mean, she had a lot of it going, and then after she lost the title, it was kind of downhill from there.
Yeah.
All right. I guess anything else about Asuka?
Round 5.
Oof. You want me to go current or go back in the day?
Go back.
Go back.
Way back.
Well, I already went way back.
Back into time.
What the hell? Yeah, that guy was deaf.
Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel.
Oh, he did.
What the hell? He's gone. What the hell was that? Oh, God.
You're right.
Anyway.
Undertaker was definitely misused.
I don't know if he was watching. I love the show.
Let's see. Who do I want? Oh, it's the last one, and I got so many people in here. Tell you what. I'm going to say WWF-wise, WWE-wise. And for some reason, this was the first guy I wrote down.
Vader.
Yes. Vader.
Oh, wow.
Wait, I guessed that right?
Yep.
That's weird. I was just talking shit.
That's it. You got possessed.
It was The Undertaker.
Yeah, this was, I mean, you know, he in WCW, definitely in Japan, you know, was this just big guy that comes in and wrecks everybody and is believable to be that strong heel. And I think could have done so much more in the WWF, but the story goes, the legend goes, Shawn didn't want to work with him. You know, he had a history of being stiff. I don't know about the whole like smelly gear thing. I don't know about that.
I heard about that story.
But, you know, another example of where politics can get you, and when you're Vince McMahon's boy like Shawn Michaels was, you know, I don't know that that's what happened, but there's so many stories out there about that being what happened. You know, you got to wonder. But I think that they missed the ball, and Vader should not have been Sunday Night Heat material. Vader should have been Sunday Night pay-per-view material for more than 1996.
Yeah, I would agree. But I mean, but he got to work with some. He got to work with The Undertaker, I believe, right?
He had a hot minute until he was supposed to work with Shawn Michaels, and then it just kind of fell off from there.
Buried. Man, Shawn had a lot of power to be even doing that stuff. Like to just really think about the power he had to destroy the career of Vader, who was a world champion everywhere else. May he rest in peace. Big Leon.
Yes, sir. All right, I have a proposal here.
Yeah, but I would agree with that.
After round 5, why don't we do like, instead of elaborating on people, we can just name some people for like 5 minutes, and we can just say yes or no if we agree that they were misbooked.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
All right, Rails, round 5 for you.
Okay, so with this one, I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to go out the box a little bit. I'm going to say the WWE dropped the ball on the entire tag team division.
Oh,
yes, he is correct. He is correct.
They don't care about tag teams. You have the greatest tag team probably on the planet in the Revival. You let them go. You only care about the Usos because they're related to Roman. Otherwise, they'd probably be jobbing too. You put New Day back together just because you don't think they're capable enough to carry a singles division. And they're going to find their way to feud. And I'm going to go on a limb and say they're going to find their way to feuding right back with the Usos at WrestleMania.
You know they will.
The Viking Raiders turned out to be complete hot garbage. Street Profits seems to be an afterthought now. The Alpha Academy, although I'm glad that they're having some type of success, you know, once they lose the tag team titles, they'll be jobbing again. RKO is pretty much broken up.
Hurt Business
had the titles, and once they lost it, they were jobbers again. AJ and Omos were tag team champs. Once they lost, that was it.
And let's not forget Queen Zelina and Carmella are the women's tag team champions. I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
Or we can forget.
Yes, we can forget. Very forgettable.
And we will.
And I'm trying to think of any other tag teams they fumbled the ball on in the last couple of years.
When you start putting tag teams together just to have a tag team, and not because they're a legitimate tag team, they're not dressed alike, they're not characters that can go together. When you don't have somebody like I think back to some of the, like with Team Angle, when you had Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin together, right? The world's greatest tag team. They gelled, they acted like a tag team. They did everything similar. I don't know why that was the first one popped in my head. I mean, we have some now that can do that. But once upon a time, every tag team, you know, part of being a tag team was having matching gear, you know, traveling together, doing everything together, basically being, you know, a duo. You know, you don't see one without the other. You know, You just don't do that. Now you just sew them together like RK Bro. That's never going to have matching gear, right? And it's an old school mentality. I think an old school thought there, back when kayfabe was a thing. But I think the tag team division stopped meaning something somewhere around the 94, 95 era in WWF, when it was seen as just a way to be a filler on the card. When you just had these random tag teams come in that nobody even knew, right, to wrestle the champions. So you, in essence, killed the tag team division there, because it went from the 80s, early 90s, where it was these big guys, like somebody that was names on the card, to just a spot to try to get somebody over, that somebody being the tag team champion.
I would certainly agree with that.
The whole tag division sucks. There's just no other way to say it. There's just no other way to say it. They ruined it.
But I do like the emphasis AEW has on it right now. They're trying to find little things that is going to make at least the smart marks happy and try to push on it. And I think the tag team is something that they're working on. I don't think it's quite 100% right now, but it's way, way better than what we have in WWE.
I would certainly agree.
Exactly.
Am I going again, or is this the lightning round here?
No, this
you are number 5. You got one more.
Number five. I'm gonna go with my guy who's still currently on the WWE roster. This is a unique performer that I don't understand why they don't do more with him. He always loses like every single week. And of course, he is the one and only Ricochet.
He's the one. The ones I would say he's the one and only jobber, but it's not the case.
Like, golly, why don't they just let him? Damn it! Why? Why does he lose every week? He can do flippy flip. It's cool.
Right. He's somebody that has this organic following, like a Zack Ryder that we were talking about. People like him regardless of the fact that he's not a great promo, right? He doesn't have this intangible presence about him when he's speaking, but he makes up for that in the stuff that he can do in the ring.
The flippity flips.
Yeah. And there's a crowd out there for that, right? There's a crowd out there for the flippy floppy shit. That's why it exists. That's why it's starting to get some mainstream stuff with AEW. That's
his matches aren't bad either. He's not bad matches.
Right. So, I agree. I see why they don't, because they're still kind of in that formula of you have to have the total package, which that's fine. But give him a mouthpiece or something. And I think that you could do a lot more than job him out. And, I just hope that maybe one day we see him somewhere else.
I would agree. Come back, Prince Puma. Lightning round? Are we just gonna name names now?
Mm-hmm.
Just shout them out.
So we want to go one at a time then? Well, let's go around until we don't have any more.
Go ahead.
Yes. Until someone's eliminated.
Right. I can't believe we didn't say this one. This would have, I kind of missed him on my list. Finn Balor.
Breaking news: Killer Cross has signed with MLW.
MLW.
Yep.
It's gonna be a fraction of what he could have made anywhere else. Anyway,
it's gonna be a start.
It probably won't be an exclusive deal though.
I don't think so.
But let's go.
I don't even know where to find MLW if I wanted to watch it.
YouTube.
Oh, okay, got you. I was gonna say Finn Balor, because when we were talking about the Fiend, I was thinking about the Demon. He got the same thing. They destroyed him.
And I forgot
for no reason.
Yeah.
For sure, Finn Balor.
All right, Rails.
Damn, that's a good question. Damn. Oh, Cesaro.
Yes.
But I mean, the only thing is, you can't really. I don't think you can make him like a world champion.
They had a chance last year. The problem was he ran into the juggernaut known as Roman Reigns.
Not gonna happen.
I think he runs into like you have this, like you said, there's something there that's keeping us from even seeing him as the champion. So he runs in these spurts where he gets almost there, and then they take him away to replace him with somebody that can be the champion.
I think I can tell you what it is. Great matches, however, bland look, not great. A great character. Promos is like okay,
and that's what it is. But he gets this cult following still, much like a Ricochet. So they just try to stick him in there every now and again. Give us the tease, try to appease some people, and then we turn around and we're disappointed, like we think he's going to win when he goes in there.
Yep. My go, right?
Yep.
This one's kind of a cheat one. I'm going to say Dean Ambrose.
I think they booked him out of the company. I mean, with what they did from the time that Roman Reigns, went out with leukemia, the stuff that they were doing to him. He got irritated with the company. He didn't.
They booked him shitty so horribly. What's
I'm talking about the whole went out with the leukemia thing.
Oh, come on. We're not going to even go there.
You're a conspiracy theorist?
Man. Come on, bro. Come on. We're not going to even do that. We're editing that part out.
Yeah, we'll move on.
No one does that.
He's trying to get canceled over here is what he's doing.
You talking about
that would be
company,
the most
You talking about a company where the owner wanted to have an incest angle with his daughter. You going to sit here and tell me that's not beneath him?
I think it's way beneath the performer to do that. And then here's the other thing. It's all about the money, baby. It's all about the money, right? So the thing is that Roman Reigns missed WrestleManias because of stuff like that. So I really highly doubt that this was a work.
Roman did not miss WrestleMania. No way. Roman did not miss WrestleMania.
He missed WrestleMania because he had a compromised immune system. He couldn't be around people.
You mean when COVID?
So, yeah, because he has a compromised immune system.
Yeah,
because of cancer.
He's not gonna miss a WrestleMania.
Yeah, and then he was gone and conveniently came back with new teeth. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, right.
Oh my!
And I'm the hill.
That dude went away because of, and all of a sudden
he went away because he was actually sick.
And all of a sudden, that dude went and made a movie, and came back to where the crowd would love him again.
Oh my God! So you think that they were in the writers' meeting, like, well, you got to get over, pal. Well, let's just give him cancer.
Hear this?
No, I'm not
saying you're gonna have leukemia.
I'm not saying he didn't have it, but I'm just saying Vince is like, Look, if I'm wrong, I'm an asshole. If I'm wrong, I'm an asshole.
Well, here's the thing.
If WWE was wrong,
I'm gonna tell you. Well,
here's the bad thing. I don't think you can. Wrong. Even if you were right, I think even saying that makes you an asshole. Like makes you sound like an asshole. So there's no coming back from that. But
I'm the biggest heel in this group.
9/11.
I got up.
No. I was down there, so I don't know.
Bush did 9/11.
No. We're not going to talk about that.
Bush did 9/11.
Chill. We'll really get dumped off this channel. You better chill.
Oh my God! No, I'm gonna tell you why I know.
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why the Roman thing wasn't work, because on the Talk Is Jericho podcast with Moxley, he was talking about how he wanted to leave WWE, and he wanted when he turned heel that night, Vince McMahon wanted Moxley or Ambrose, whatever you want to call him, to say a line like, "I hope Roman Reigns dies."
Yeah, I know. I heard that.
Mox was just like, "That's my actual friend that's sick. I'm not gonna say that." So that's how you kind of know.
Like what he said was already bad enough. I don't remember what it was, but I remember being like, "Oof, why are you bringing this up?" Like, that's a legitimate like. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing was weird, but
that's an asshole for you.
Good old Vinnie Mac. All right, let's.
Just edit, wait, what's this? Just edit that part out that I said. What I said.
Yeah, what?
We're live, pal.
What's this from Sean Rossap tweeted? Wrestling Never Sleeps has come to the terms of the contract with Tyrell Howard. We will wish him the best luck on his future endeavors. You said something controversial.
Future endeavors. No, they wish me They wish me the best future endeavors.
Starting his new podcast, Conspiracy Theories Are Us.
Yeah, wrestling conspiracy theories.
I just take over my new persona.
Is it my go?
Now. It's my new persona now.
Did you go, Rails?
Yes, that's Cesaro.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's your turn, Jared.
Might be controversial, might be not. I'm gonna go with the Iconics, Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. I love those two. I think they were hilarious. And we don't have a tag team division for the women, so let them run their course with that shit.
Should never broke them up.
Should never broke them up.
I agree. I think when they broke up, that was the end of it. They were amazing together, not much apart. Right. I don't know that I can't say that I watched enough to say that it was booking or if it was them, but I do know that when they were together, I did enjoy them.
Go on YouTube and type in Iconics best moments and prepare to laugh your ass off for like 20 minutes.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
and none of it is wrestling.
Right.
And it's So if you want to have your little comedy spots, they were, and then you're not doing anything with the tag titles anyway. So just let them just do tag team comedy for 5 minutes, and you know.
All right. Anything else with them?
I'm not against comedy wrestling. I just hate Orange Cassidy the way he's booked. I'm gonna add that.
You're a heel,
baby. Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel. Michael McGillicuddy.
Joe Hennig Jr. Joe Hennig.
Do we think
I've never been a fan of his.
Do we think it's booking, or do we think it's just he kind of lived his potential and fizzled out?
Lived his potential.
Yeah, I wasn't big on him because you can't make him the champion.
Again, well, okay, I don't think that I don't think they dropped the ball and that he would have been champion ever, but I think he could have been a strong mid-carder. Instead of being booked into irrelevancy, I think they could have.
B team, go.
Right.
That was actually pretty good. And then they went heel, and that messed everything up. Because then they went Mr. Raj.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Raj.
I got one. Luke Harper.
What you got, Rels?
Luke Harper.
Yes.
Luke Harper could have easily.
Eric. Oh, okay.
Luke Harper could have easily been inserted into that match with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania because of the way the storyline played itself out.
Honestly, I cannot see him out with anything outside of like Rowan and Harper. I can't. Sure. I just can't picture it. I can't picture him as a singles.
He's the greatest champion ever.
I think he was a pretty good Intercontinental champion, but I do like, again, almost with like the Cody Rhodes thing, once he left, and like Matt Cardona, once he left, he was better than he ever was.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's the greatest TNT champion ever.
Who said?
I'm gonna stay away from that.
Yeah. Whose turn is it?
It's Jared. Jared, you make the last one and make it a good one.
I'm gonna go with Adam Copeland, 2020 and on.
Wait, what? Wait, how?
He's talked about this
2020 and on.
Yeah.
No. Wait, how can you wait? No, that don't count. How can you say WWE dropped the ball with that man? That man has won a Rumble. Because that man has beaten Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell.
He won a Rumble and then got pinned with Daniel Bryan at the same damn time.
Yeah, but it was for the greater good.
And then got to do a fight with the Miz.
Yeah, but it was for the greater good of the Universal title.
So I think if this is going along the lines of what you've talked about before, Jared, is that you feel that Edge is not in the role that he should be in this point of his career, correct? The booking that we're talking about here with the WWE dropping the ball with him isn't per se.
But you see,
his drawing power or anything like that.
Yeah, but
it's that he should be putting other people over. Is that what you're?
Okay, let's look at Edge's.
Okay,
he was gone for 9 years and came back, and look what's going on. Look how CM Punk has been gone for 7 years, and look what they're doing on the other side. So it's like, who's having the, you know what I mean? Like they could have just did so much more. I feel
Edge is having a better career right now.
Than who?
Than CM Punk right now.
Huh?
What do you mean, huh?
Edge, are you saying Edge right now from 2020 on is having a better career than CM Punk 2020 on?
Yes. The dude returned at the Rumble. The dude won a Rumble. the dude
say, huh?
The dude returned at a Rumble. The dude won a Rumble. The dude had a great match with Randy Orton, a great feud with Randy Orton. The only thing that kills it right now is that he hasn't won the championship. And we're sitting here saying WWE has made him not win a championship. You ever thought maybe Edge just doesn't want the title?
I think you're looking at it different than what Jared was trying to say. But for me, I love CM Punk. I love Edge.
I love them both.
I really do. But
I got a bonus one for one that dropped the ball on Christian.
Yes.
He's on my list too.
He was on mine.
Yeah. 20. Yeah, they could have did something with him. 2020 on in WWE.
I really think in Christian's case, I really think they didn't really want him to wrestle again.
I think AEW. I think AEW is currently dropping the ball with him.
I agree with that.
I mean, the dude did beat Kenny Omega for the Impact title on Rampage in the first match of Rampage.
And now he's managing a Jungle Boy and a goddamn dinosaur.
Hold on.
Slow
How
down.
the hell is Edge having a better career than CM Punk right now? That does not make that is blasphemous.
Slow
that
down,
is as a 9, as a 10,
it's
as
gonna,
a 11.
It's gonna happen. Christian's gonna turn on Jungle Boy. Give it some time. We're working on it. But yes, Edge, I stand by my statement. Edge has had a better return than CM Punk has, and has had a better body of work since his return than CM Punk. I'm sorry. I stand by what I said.
What's this from Sean WhatsApp?
If Sean Rossap got
Roy Howard has been let go.
If Sean Rossap has an issue with me, I got 2 words for
violating the
him.
Wrestling Never Sleeps drug policy. It says it right here. He's future endeavored.
If Sean Rossap has an issue with me, I got 2 words for him.
He could. Rose clearly cannot pass a drug test tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
I am healing
the
it up.
The guy
tonight.
sold out a stadium. He sold out a stadium on the rumor that he might be there.
No. Don't get me wrong. That's a great accomplishment. And I'm one of those people who made sure I tuned in to see it. But you have to look at, okay, what has Edge done since he's been back? What has CM Punk did since that night? Edge has had a better body of work than CM Punk.
He had a great match with Darby Allin.
That
Sting thing was pretty cool.
We also have to look that Edge has been back longer.
Yeah.
If we look, when did Punk come in? What was that?
Punk came in August.
Like August 2021.
Yeah, Edge has been back since 2020. Was it 2021 or 2022? No, 2020. He came back 2020.
2020.
Yeah, right before the pandemic hit.
And I think what you got to look at there too. I think for me, I mean, I personally, again, both of them, 2 of my favorites of all time. But you have CM Punk weekly, putting out this, giving to feuds from Allen to MJF, doing stuff with Sting. Like that tag team, the 6-man tag was wow. Just the fact that it ever happened. But on the other channel, you also have Edge. I mean, he's not putting the young people over, but he's showing that he has more left in the tank. I
love Edge. I'm just saying they could do more for him. They could.
I'd really have to sit down and look at a side-by-side comparison and watch through everything to really honestly have an opinion on that. I don't know one way or another. So we got you 2 guys on definitely on one side and the other, and me. I don't know which side to take on that, honestly. I think it's just me not being biased.
Edge is having a better return than CM Punk.
Edge is having
crazy.
I said what I said.
You guys are crazy.
Mr. Robinson, we have a comment here. Edge is dope, and so is Punk. The body of work is better than most full-timers.
Oh, I can't wait to go in a one-on-one debate with you, Jared, and let Coach be the referee. I cannot wait.
I'll be ready.
Let's get it on.
I'll be ready.
You give us, Coach. You have a homework assignment. You give us a topic, and me and Jared have to debate about it.
Well, sure, we can start with this damn CM Punk Edge debacle.
No, we're not going to start. I said what I said, and I'm done with what I said.
Next show, that's 9, that's 10, that's 11. Whose turn is it? It's back to you, Coach.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't think this will be too controversial.
I got one name left on my list.
How about John Morrison?
Oh gosh.
Again, not somebody I'm going to sit here and say that should be world champion, but I think somebody that is going to. I think history will prove that he could have been so much more.
I hate John Morrison personally.
There's stuff a fan here. See,
Yeah.
You were right about
the
MJF.
guy. That guy is clearly getting paid by Tyrell. He's definitely
put your phone down.
He's in the Reltourage. He's clearly in the Reltourage.
Reltourage. I like that. No, he he actually runs the Aew wrestling page, the wrestling group. So he has his great knowledge as well.
Wait, what did Rel say about MJF? I thought I said about MJF.
No. So it's the thing me and him had said about MJF. I called it MJF thing a while ago. No, I just said the whole MJF about beating Punk and he's going to be a world champion. So
was that this episode?
No. There's a conversation me and him had privately about MJF.
Oh,
okay. That's why I'm confused then.
Thank you for that, DeAndre Torch Robinson.
But he is not a part of the Reltourage. Although that is not a bad idea. I am going to start my own stable. You are. I like that name.
Reltourage.
They're going to do a run in on the comment section.
My Relians.
Brilliance.
But John Morrison, great look, and that's as far as it goes, I think. Personally.
Nah, definitely, brother. Definitely, we could all collaborate. Definitely.
Whose go is it? Rels?
I got one more. Who can I think of?
I got one more too.
Who do I think that they dropped the ball with? Let me go back in my. Oh, I got it. But it's more of a first time around. They dropped the ball with Sid Justice.
I love Sid Justice.
Yes, and the reason why I say they dropped the ball,
he's a heel, but he's like give a pound in the.
No. That's Psycho Sid. I'm going back Sid Justice '92 Rumble.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Sid Justice.
When Hogan hit, when they're and Coach, you could agree with me because we watched the watch along. There was no justification for Sid to be a heel in that feud with Hogan.
Yeah, Hogan kind of held it up in there, but I've just never been a Sid fan.
Wait, what?
You are disrespectful.
I was a Sid fan heavy in the late '90s.
He had the blonde Jerry curl hair.
He's WWF.
A little sweaty.
Whoa.
Damn.
Although I would take Sid over Ultimate Warrior, who I would also take over Goldberg.
Honorable mention. Can I say WWE dropped the ball with Lex Luger?
I
think that was doomed to start. I don't like Lex Luger either. But they tried to make him the next Hulk Hogan without ever seeing that he didn't have personality.
Who was better, Lex Luger or Sid Justice? I'm gonna go with Sid Justice.
Sid.
He was the master and ruler of the world,
and his powerbomb was phenomenal.
And I have half the brains that you do.
Yeah, I remember.
Let's do that again. We're live, pal. Without Sid Justice, we would never have We're Live, pal.
So, I remember in the '90s, Sid hit. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Bret Hart. I think when he won the title off of Bret Hart before WrestleMania, he hits. And I'm gonna go back and find it. He hit Bret Hart with such the softest power bomb I've ever saw in my life. Like he lifted him, but when he dropped him, he literally dropped him with one hand down like this on the mat. You have to go back and watch it and look and see how incredibly soft that power. It almost looked like Bret Hart landed on a pillow.
You gotta find that joint.
I'm gonna find it.
Justice tonight.
I'm gonna find it. It was on the Raw it was a Raw episode where I think Sid fought Bret for the title, and Stone Cold hit Bret with his knee brace, and then Sid powerbomb Bret. It was the softest powerbomb in the history.
Man, those days were great. I feel like if you could have like an old Monday Night Raw and it could beat like current Monday Night Raw and AEW in a head-to-head. Like if it was brand new
the
shows.
Attitude Era. Like
yeah, like even like a little pre-Attitude Era when you have like Shawn Michaels and Bret and Sid all running around and stuff. Good times.
I have an idea for another show too. Before we get off,
what's that?
We can create our own factions.
Oh, my faction's coming. It's the.
I think that could go along with the whole like booking the Ultimate Rumble, booking Ultimate Elimination Chamber.
My faction's coming.
Oh, don't worry about faction. The Reltarage is closer than you think.
I'm gonna get a name for my faction, and then we're coming for the Reltarage at Wrestling Never Sleeps Mania. All right, the last person on my list, I'm gonna go with.
You got the Jared Maniacs.
Or I already have a faction.
Or
the Jerichoholics.
The Jerichoholics.
My faction is
championship.
We are called the gold. We're called the Mid-Atlantic Wrecking Crew.
Like the Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
Yep.
Who are you, Ole or Arn?
More Arn.
I mean, you didn't have to show the belt again. Show off.
I'm gonna put that on my Kinder account.
More That's also one of our things. We do what we want.
Oh. So we got the Reltarage.
I got one last name on my list.
We got the Reltarage, the Jerichoholics.
And the last person on my list is Robert Roode.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Glorious.
He was so glorious.
He was supposed to be the next Triple H.
He's supposed to be the first Robert Roode, and they just didn't see it for him.
I've seen him as so much more in TNA than what they did with him for a long time. You know, and then they finally gave him the push that he needed. When he came to NXT, I thought he was going to get a little bit more than what he got. And I think that seems to be the theme of somebody when they're in NXT and then they go to the main roster. You always hope in the back of your mind that they're going to do a little bit more with that person, and then they find a way to screw it up. And they did that really, really quick with Robert Roode. I've always been a fan. I've always loved him for one reason or the other. But I just, for some reason, in the back of my mind, knew he was never going to be a top guy. But I think he could 120% be a solid Intercontinental champion and make it mean something. U.S. champion and make it mean something. Because both of those current champions.
I hate Damian Priest.
Yeah. So.
And his music was glorious.
Glorious. That was my alarm clock for a very long time.
That was a ringtone I had.
That was my alarm clock in the morning. I'm pretty sure I would throw my phone across the room. I
wake up pretty glorious feeling.
I love the song, but I'm just not that ready to be that happy when I get up first thing in the morning.
I won't give in. I won't give in until I'm victorious.
Exactly.
That's a bar.
Yep.
That is a bar.
Yes, sir.
Well, I think that's my list. Do you guys have anything else?
What about EC3?
Oh, gosh. We'll throw him in the whole Ty Dillinger bin in the clearance section of WWE drop balls.
I will say there has to be something to be said that EC3 hasn't been on AEW. Like
he signed to AEW?
No. But I'm saying maybe
they signed with Impact.
Maybe, no, he was with Ring of Honor.
Because there's no space for those type of guys. You have to get like Keith Lee. You have to get Bray Wyatt. You have to get like big names. The EC3's just another guy. He could be in the best friends or something like that, and I wouldn't even.
Personally, I would like to see EC3 just as much as I care about Jay White being there.
But to be honest with you, EC3 character fits that snotty rich kid. That was his character, and then he changed it up, cut his hair, got a beard, and got shredded. And it's like it's not the same EC3 anymore.
Yeah.
And you got to think too, if we go with what's going on right now with EC3, we also probably get Braun Strowman.
Titan.
You said Braun Strowman?
Titan.
Is it Titan?
It's Titan.
That's right. Ugh.
Braun Strowman's a cool name.
Titan
is not so much.
The Titan.
It just sounds like Big Strong Man. That's his name. His name's Big Strong Man.
There's actually a guy that used to work on the indies around here, and his name was Titan. So every time I hear that, I think of the Titan I used to work with.
You should just change his name to Adam Strowman.
Adam Strowman.
I think anything's probably better than
because Braun Scher is not gonna. Well, man, Braun Scher, nah, it's not like a.
You probably can't.
It's not like a dinosaur.
WWE, you probably be like, no.
Braun Scher.
Braun Scher. What's his name? It's Braun Scher.
Brandon Strongman. Brandon Strongman. That works. Brandon Strongman.
Bram Strongman. There you go.
Yeah.
His gimmick is he lifts things up and he puts it down.
I mean, he was doing that at one point.
With vigor.
Yeah. Carlito?
I think that's as far as you can go.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he got in his own way. From what I read, being lazy, just behavior, all that kind of thing.
He was so gifted at wrestling, he took it as a curse or whatever.
And again, keep in mind, especially not with these next couple. I mean, there's only like 2 or 3 left on here, but I'm not talking world champion. I'm talking, do we think they could have went further and meant more in the long run than what they did? William Regal.
I think William Regal ran his course.
I think he meant more in WCW.
I think he'll mean more in AEW as a manager or mouthpiece of somebody.
And, I think that's where his real kind of, once it's all said and done, that's where he's really going to mean anything. And he already does. I mean, NXT is what NXT has been, and what it was is because of, in part, William Regal. So one of those guys that's a bigger talent, perhaps backstage, than what he ever could have been in the ring.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Mr. Kennedy.
Next.
Yeah, pass. Mr. Canada.
He's an asshole. Did you see what he did recently? He jerked some wrestling fans out of money for his wrestling school. They paid him.
I did see that. I did see that. Never showed up.
Yeah, they paid him for training and he disappeared.
Saw that. Elijah Burke.
That's horrible. Oh gosh, next.
The Pope. great talker, but I don't really see what was so. He might today. I think he'd fit in today's Hurt Business.
Okay.
If there was a Hurt Business still.
No, if there was a Hurt Business, yes.
Shelton Benjamin.
Shelton Benjamin has ran his course too. I don't really think there's anything for him anymore.
Especially that gold standard thing. Like, I just was bored of him.
Yeah, he's just very boring to me. Yeah. Doesn't really stand out. But took the best super kick of all time, though. I'll give him that.
Absolutely.
Here's kind of a wild card one.
Drew Carey.
Yeah.
Should have won that Rumble.
Pete Rose.
Big Show.
Should have won. Big Show, yes. Was overexposed. Should have gave him the Brock Lesnar booking. Comes out here and there, whoops some ass, goes back into retirement. Let him do movies, let him do whatever. But yeah, I agree. Big Show for sure. Disrespectful. You can't teach 7 foot and 500 pounds.
You can't teach that.
You can't teach that. You can't teach 7 foot tall, 500 pounds that can, throw drop kicks and kip up and all that kind of stuff he could do. Maybe not when he was quite 300 or 500 pounds, but I think a talent that could have went a lot further than what he did had he had the Andre the Giant or the Brock Lesnar booking, as it's probably known now. But
yeah,
we'll never know.
Same thing with Big Strong Man.
Well, that was my list. Again,
also Shane McMahon. He should have won the 2022 Royal Rumble. They really dropped the ball with that. Should have booked him strong. I'm lying. Don't mean that at all.
Oh, what about Raven?
Raven
was a guy I
enjoyed
Raven did. ECW.
Yeah, but he didn't fit in WWE's culture. He never did, even when he was Johnny Polo.
Oh yeah, Johnny Polo. I hate Vince McMahon. Like, he's the luckiest. He's the luckiest business guy of all time. He has the stupidest ideas, and then just by chance stuff just works for him every time.
But that makes him the best businessman because surround yourself with people that'll make the right decisions, and you get
I hate this guy.
You get all the clout for it.
You're Rocky Maivia, pal. This is gonna work great. And you're the ringmaster, Steve Austin.
Oh no, he was gonna be Icy McSomething first.
Icy
McFreeze or something. Yeah,
Frosty McFreeze. No, Frosty McFreeze. That was
Chili McFreeze or something like that. Yeah,
yeah.
Can you imagine how his career would have been dead before it started?
There'd be no Stone Cold, which means no Attitude Era, which means wrestling probably doesn't exist today.
Coming from Victoria, Texas.
There would be WWF would have never survived. WCW would have had the same fate.
So right now we'd be on a podcast about like Smurfs or something.
Coming from Victoria, Texas, weighing 245 pounds, Chili McFreeze, Steve Austin.
Yeah.
No,
wouldn't have worked.
Just hearing that makes me want to headbutt a knife.
Yep, this guy's a billionaire. $1 billion ideas here. So
what a wonderful world.
All right. But I think is that it? Is that everyone's list?
I think so. And I think what we've learned here tonight is that we could have went on a lot longer with more people, but a lot of this is politics, right place, right time. You can be the right person at the wrong time, like you said earlier, Jared, because you just have other people that are maybe a step or two ahead of you when in a different era you could have been the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe not always completely booking, but in one way or another, the ball was dropped, whether it was from WWF or WWE or just because of the circumstance. We'll never be happy because we're wrestling fans.
Because we are wrestling fans.
And why else, Jared? Because it's
all about the money, baby. It's the money.
No. Your catchphrase.
Wrong one.
Because it's still.
He set you up and you struck out.
But why would I say that in that context? That would make sense.
Yes, it does. We are wrestling fans. And why? Because it's still real to me. Damn it.
But I said at the end, it doesn't make sense.
We're not wrapping up yet.
Because we're wrestling fans and it's still real to me. Damn it. What? I can see why you think Edge had a better return than CM Punk.
I can't wait to debate you. I cannot wait to debate you.
It's over.
Vaudevillains.
I say
villains. Now I'm thinking about Shawn Michaels.
This isn't going to be a two-way debate. We're going to have to get Adam in here and let him be the moderator because I say we make it a triple threat.
You check.
With the OG Wrestling Never Sleeps. Let's get him in here.
Or we can be a fatal four-way. We can all be the rest. We're also all going to dish it out.
Would be it would be me and Adam. So it would be like Wrestling Never Sleeps versus Wrestling Never Sleeps 2.0.
Round table.
Let's kick some 1.0 ass, coach.
Yes, sir. We need the old logo so we can kick through
it. Kick through it. All right, guys. Well, that about does it for tonight. That was extremely fun as always. We went almost 2 hours. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Broadway Iron Man match. But yeah, folks, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. We have a lot of fun, as you can see. Even when Rel's opinions are terrible. No, I'm just kidding, Rels. But thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when we have more videos like this. For Rels and Coach, I am Jared Never Sleeps. Thanks for watching. And here we are. And it's still real to me, damn it.
The Rel Taraj is coming.
The Jared-Caholics.
The Jared-Caholics.
The Jared-Caholics.